You know? Okay, welcome, family. Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. I'm Uncle Hinky, also known as Unc Rising Sun, also known as Magnet Man. And to my left is Miss Bliss. She's looking out for the cheering to make sure they show up on time.
Hmm.
And straight out of Detroit, right?
That's
Sincere
correct.
Seven?
I am out of Detroit. I run the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit in Detroit, but I actually live in Sunrise, Florida. So I operate in both.
Okay, that sounds good, man. Sounds good. Okay, so while he's giving peace offerings by way of Mapacho Plus, we're going to do the opening for our brother through our brother Baraka, who's not presently available because he's doing the Daddy Shuffle Moonwalk.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
All right, here we go. I want to thank Brother Baraka for the opening. We're going to do invocation and call upon our ascended master ancestors. I am in me. I am in Miss Bliss. I am in Sincere Seven. I am in Brother Duli. I am in you, the listening audience, now and in the future. We, in the name of love, call upon Yeshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary. We call upon Melchizedek, Enoch the Ethiopian who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. We call on the latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko, who called up an army of muscle bound black angels, bulletproof, that chase the colonistic Belgiums out of the Congo. We call upon ascended master Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrahim. We ask the gatekeeper of Mount Shasta in Northern California, Saint Germain, to be upon this platform. South African Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa. Call upon Nikolai Tesla, Wilhelm Reich. We call upon the shaman warriors of throughout the earth's surface, Buddhas, Krishnas in the earth's hollow, we ask that you be a part of our platform. Ascended masters of the star system Dogon, Orion, Pleiades, be with us tonight. Take dominion over the cross-eyed school bus leaders of the world, known and unknown, human and non-human. Take dominion as I, self-realized I am, in the name of love, calling upon the cavalry of ascended master ancestors. Chief Geronimo, Shek Sabi, calling on Kalindi Aye, Dr. George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, calling upon medicine woman Harriet Tubman, who took entheogen so she could see the movements of the misdirected slave catchers in the dark, calling upon Chief Osceola, Seraphis Bey, Master Himalaya, Great Divine Director, Kathumi, Sanat Kumara, calling upon the ascended masters of the ancient world of Atlantis, Lemuria, and continents forgotten. We ask the presence of Lakshmi, Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy, in the name of love, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, Chief Seattle. We ask the presence of the forces of nature that live within us. Ilegba, Oshun, Goddess of Love, known in many tongues by many acoustical variants. Mother Ocean, Yemaya, Oya, Ologun, Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Ochosi, be with us on this platform. And you can call upon P.B. Randolph, Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali, Elijah Muhammad. We call on all the women warriors, all the men warriors to thank you for lifting us to the speed of love and guide the words that come out of our lips tonight so that we can elevate, activate, and transmutate the diabolical DNA lowering of intelligence and God-like awareness, wisdom, and power. Ashe, Aho, Donada, Wado, and so it is. And I want to give a special acknowledgement to the Shroom baby masters who have now matured, blue pill, red pill, KT arch degree. I want to acknowledge that Shrooms can literally make the mama a highly advanced avatar Stargate. And everyone who's listening throughout the world, thank you for your comments, and please put in the chat where you're listening from. So I want to pull up the banner. I believe I had the banner up here. No, I haven't put the banner up. But anyway, we're going to move right into the show. And we're going to have Brother Duli. Here's Brother Duli. Now, Brother Duli, I want you to sit still, brother. I don't want you spinning around the room because you know you're a distraction when you do that, bro. So welcome, Brother Duli. Welcome, Sincere 7. And welcome to the audience listening from all over the world. We have in the house right now, Cali, West Africa, Peace Family, Paris, France, South Florida, Northern California, Miami, Florida. All right, let's talk about what is a mushroom, Sincere 7, while I show what people are listening to in the world. Talk to us, brother.
Hey, you know it's funny. I'm glad you asked me that because when I have my mycology classes, that is always the first question that I ask my students. And the reason why is because I feel like it's so many people now becoming part of the entheogenic explosion, and not enough are really understanding what a mushroom is. So for you to ask me that, I was surprised, but I'm so glad you did. And so to answer that question, I'm going to explain that a mushroom is the sexual organ or the reproductive or reproductive vessel of mycelium. And
Whoa.
the reason that I feel that that's so important to point out is because I feel like a lot of people, whether it be for financial reasons or just for novelty or recreation, are so focused on the mushroom that they don't give no credit to what mycelium is. And that
Wow.
they need to understand that when you eat, especially when we're talking about a psychedelic mushroom, this is a sexual organ that is off of an intergalactic being. So when you eat in these mushrooms, you're actually conducting a ritual of sex magic with an intergalactic entity.
Oh, damn. Damn, that's hot, brother. Whoa. What the hell did you just say, man?
What?
Sex magic what?
When you eat a magic mushroom, which is the sexual organ of the mycelium, you are conducting and practicing a ritual of sex magic with the intergalactic entity.
Wow.
Mm.
Damn. I gotta bring up Miss Bliss. I want to see what she says when she said, She went, Please continue, my brother.
So I mean, that's basically it. When you eat the mushroom, you're giving that entity the ability to express itself through your physical body, and it's giving you the blessing of being able to be have access to all the information from where it's from. It's extraterrestrial. It has information that none of the earth bound plants and entheogens have, from the bufo to the iboga to the cannabis. All of those are terrestrial. They part of the earth. They from the earth, so they have earthly information. Whereas again, those mushrooms are from somewhere else. They from space. So I like when I watch the movie Venom. That's how I think about the mushrooms. They're a symbiote, and they need a vessel to be able to express themselves. But connecting with them in that ritual, then they also give you access to their information.
I want to give a special acknowledgement to Dr. Sabi because one of his primary assistants introduced me to mushrooms years ago. And the first thing I had to do when the medicine kicked in, it started showing me all the jacked up stuff I had did in my adolescent years where I actually had to pick up the telephone. I said, I don't know if I remember the phone number. And the mushroom said, da 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 da, gave me the phone number. And I said, what if they don't answer? And it said, they will answer. And literally, I called and they picked up the phone. I said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. And that was powerful. That was powerful because we are accountable to everything we do in this life and through the halls of time. So,
yeah. And mycelium and mushrooms, if you are mycologist, you know that they are very, very, very clean. They don't want, that's why we tell people to fast all day before you take the organic technologies or the sacrament, because it wants a clean system. So fast all day, so there's no contaminations in there. So when you eat it, it'll be comfortable. But with that being said, if you are a contaminated individual, that's the first thing it's going to try to do is clean your nasty ass up.
yo, that's the truth, man.
What about if someone did Kambo before taking shrooms? Is that a good idea?
At the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, that's why we tell people, we take people through the regimen of Kambo first to cleanse you, then ayahuasca to heal you, and then you use the mushrooms to go and travel and to bring back extraterrestrial information and things that can assist you in the terrestrial realms. So yes, we advise Kambo first for sure.
That sounds like a retreat. That sounds like we're gonna need a whole weekend to heal, to cleanse, and all the trauma and the drama.
That's about right. That's about right.
Sincere Seven.
Yes, sir.
Our community is so busted up. I mean, some of the folks by the time they hit 30, they got trauma on top of drama on top of trauma, where the little bit of consciousness we have, we're cat shit scared crazy to leave our monkey mind behind. So I would say at least 50% of the conscious community is mental illness. how do you address mental illness from our broken-hearted, dysfunctional junkyard of wounded souls sliding on chicken grease?
You said, how do I? Me personally, the first thing that we do and the main thing we do is counsel. People can't change or heal until they first understand, know, or admit that they have an issue, problem, or concern. So that's the main thing we do, because we don't do no convincing at the Psychonaut Academy Detroit. If a person's not open to go into discussions, we leave it alone. But when people are coming and trying to heal, the main thing that they need is understanding of where they're at and what they need. So counseling is the main thing that we go through. So we don't really run straight into medicine work. If anything, I might tell you to do a microdose and let's do a counseling session or two.
Did you ever offer those to Jehovah's Witnesses when they come knocking on your door?
You said, do I open the door to them? Oh yeah, I love them. Oh yeah, anybody want to kick it about the beauty of God? I'm with you.
What about with a mushroom? Special shout out to Serena. What is it? Serena Williams. She became a Jehovah's Witness. Just got baptized. So she might come banging on your door. Peace, brothers and sisters. The world is about to end and the sky is going to fall. Do you know about the kingdom of God? While the founder is buried in Pennsylvania underneath a granite pyramid. Yeah. All right. So, why should a woman consider, Sincere 7, taking mushrooms, or a brother should take mushrooms? What happens to consciousness with mushrooms? Uh-oh, the baby answered it. I heard the baby answer.
Did you give the baby some shrooms, Duli? Who's that? Who's that baby?
Oh, that's my baby. That was my baby.
Oh, okay.
And yes, she is a mushroom baby.
She's a mushroom. I told you.
Yeah.
He had an amazing story. Amazing story about, I think, your child's mother. She was taking shrooms while she was pregnant. I don't know. I don't remember what the dosage was or how long she took it. But then you said your daughter came out holding her head up, right?
Yeah. Well, so that was actually my son that came out and held his head up.
Okay.
She is very advanced. I think she started turning over at like a month and crawl. Like she's been potty trained since she was like 9 months old. No, maybe not. Yeah, about 9-10 months old. Gets up in the middle of the night to go potty. I mean, very advanced. But all of our mushroom babies are very advanced, very tapped in. They're very aware. You could definitely tell. I mean, but then again, they saying we go into the solar belt and the indigo children and the rainbow children, the crystal children. So is it the mushrooms? Is it the lumens? Is it nature? Is it junk DNA? Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, in the Bible, it literally says where God shortened men's lifespan, and God created confusion at the Tower of Babel because God got upset that humanity was accelerating in knowledge and awareness at such an amazing rate, so that God made Abraham almost kill his firstborn son. So I'm just thinking, seems like there's some, not gods, but astronauts that tried to do a coup on the planet Earth's evolution. Because that's where it says, let us create man in our image. Who's our and who's us? And I really believe, I'm going to say this right now, family, to everyone throughout the world and everyone in the chat, say what country and what town you from. I think the Garden of Eden was an experimental zoo. And they didn't want to have heightened awareness of their DNA science project. Because Sincere 7, what has it been like for you with a child that was born with the blessings of the Entheogenic mycelium spore network?
You know, I'm gonna tell you, like, from an early age, I always wanted to be a husband and a father. So 18 years ago, my first child was born. I can say that there is just bliss in being a father. So I'm gonna be honest, I can tell about emotional and mental and cognitive differences between the mushroom babies and not, but actually I can't say that the experience of being a father has been greater or different in that aspect to mushroom babies over my children who were conceived before we was dealing with mushrooms. That's just a blissful thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess some of the amazement at the advancement, of them, but that's something that, you only amaze once, if that makes sense. They only start walking once, and then it's like, okay, okay. And then it's, so I don't know if I could actually get at a real sincere answer that would be like, no, I get what you mean, because it's different with this and you feel different. So yeah, I think that's just a blissful stages, period.
All right.
I have a thought. And I don't know if I'm correct, but it's just that my intuition is telling me. So if a woman is expecting and she's taking shrooms, does it somehow connect her more to the child?
Yes.
I don't know. It's my intuition, because
that's a great question, Miss Bliss.
Yes, my queen has went in and discussed so for instance, when she first found out she was pregnant, she went in on a trip and she was telling me that she came back and that she had talked to her daughter and that she told her she didn't want, her going to the doctors, and she didn't want them doing a bunch of tests and things. I think she went in and discussed the parameters of, I forgot what, but she, when she goes in, she does tell me that she connects with the child and that they discuss things, for preparation of her coming. And she was prophesized probably 6 or 7 years before we actually had her. I've had 4 or 5 shamanistic priestess tell me about, I have a daughter on the way, get prepared, this and that. My daughter told me to get prepared. So she was already communicating with us years before she actually came into existence in the physical.
Y'all hear that, ladies? Get them shrooms. All of y'all trying to have them babies. Get them shrooms in your system. Figure out what's coming for you.
You brought up a good point. All of you single brothers, all of you single sisters, if you want to get to know who the person is that you're really dating beyond the introduction mask personality, take 3 grams of shrooms, the man and the woman, and you'll meet the real person and their ancestors, and you'll find out who you're really dealing with, so you don't have to worry about wasting the most precious commodity, and that is time. So in the beginning, you do filtration with shrooms, 3 grams, to find out who this person you attracted, whether it's your heart or your trauma, did you draw into your holographic life stream. And I want to ask Brother Duli, he's a new father, and if he ain't too busy spinning that little yo-yo, we'll ask him if he is giving his children shrooms. So let's bring in Duli, man. Duli, welcome to the show, man.
Greetings, Earthlings.
There you go, brother. Tell us.
This is not a yo-yo, by the way. This is an ancient technology that was used by the lamas in Tibet. That's Umane Peme Hong all across it, and Umane Peme Hong written thousands of times inside of it. You can make your own. So if you're a person into sacred chanting, make your own with the engravement of the prayer that you want on the outside, and put thousands of them. And while you're chanting it, it's increasing your chanting by 1,000-fold. So they go around like this, and it clears the energy while you're bringing forth the energy of Umane Peme Hong, which is a connection to what they call the Bodhisattvas, the Bodhisattva tradition. in the Mahayana Buddhism. And the bodhisattvas are the ones that keep on coming back reincarnated for the sake of all of humanity. All right.
So,
They don't they don't go on the full.
Hold your thought, Duli.
Yeah.
Duli,
Yes,
hold your
sir.
thought. In the hood, y'all get yourself a yo-yo. Write your prayers on the yo-yo.
Right.
With paper tape, and then you spin that yo-yo up and down and let your prayers go all around. And that's a download I just got. So yeah, that's nice that you spinning it horizontal, but a yo-yo will spin it vertical.
Right.
The other way around.
Right. We're always inventing.
Yo-yo family. Go on Amazon, get yourself a yo-yo, and I'm gonna show you something else. I'm gonna pull myself up here. Hold that thought, Dooley, because we want to know about your babies and your shrooms.
Damn right.
Look, get this on Amazon, y'all. Get this pyramid that spins on Amazon and put your prayers, what you desire, on the bottom, and then spin it counterclockwise like this, so that your prayers will spin off into the universe, omniverse, multiverse. You hear me? It's time for us to start using technology. If you don't have a pistol, you better have a crystal. So this is, this widget you can find on Amazon for $20. All right. Now let's get back here to Duli, and we want to know: do you have, Duli, the experience of having psychedelic babies?
Yes, I do. All right. My daughter came when me and my wife at the time was making love. My daughter came in from the sun. She came directly from the sun and came directly into the window and came into my wife's, at the time, her womb. All right. My son is like the Hulk. He's definitely a psilocybin one. And when he was about 4 to 5 months, he was in a rocking chair little thing, and I picked him up, right? And he was holding the rocking chair little thing in one arm for at least 3 to 4 seconds. And I was like, who is this? Who is this Hercules little dude, right? And before he even did that, he was talking to me telepathically. I was holding him, and I felt this buzzing type of thing from my forehead to his forehead, right? And next thing I know, I hear a thought. And the thought that came to me is like, I don't like all this huggy stuff. So I had to say to my son, like, listen, but you're at this age, you're in a stage where you're cute and all that cuddly thing, you know what I mean? It's okay, you'll get over it, you know what I mean? But he's like, he came up straight up and was like, yo, I don't like all this cuddly stuff, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So yeah, he's telepathic. My daughter goes into shamanic journeys with me. You know, when I'm working on people, sometimes she'll come right in the room, you know what I mean, and start beaming energy from her hand or whatever with her astral body to help me in the process of doing some work on people. These are advanced little souls coming in, you know, and they came in at the right time. I mean, they're coming in at the great change, you know, like Ramasu, Baba Kalindi's son, right? You know, I remember when Kalindi was saying he picked Kalindi as a father, you know what I mean? And he distinctly came for this time for the great shift, the great change in the consciousness right now. So you got a lot of warrior souls coming through as these babies, and you have a lot of magicians, healers coming through at this time, and they already know what time it is. You know what I mean? You don't even have to tell them that. They already know who they are coming through.
It's us who lost. It's us.
Yeah, it's the adults that is on the short, what they call the short bus. The motherfucking, you know what I mean? They on the short bus, you know what I mean? The adults, you know what I mean? But yeah. These children, they know what time it is, you know?
So when you did, whose idea was it? Was it your child's mother, or was it your idea?
It was my idea. It was my idea because, you know, I was hearing a lot of things from Mama Ayana, that's Baba Kalindi's wife, that, you know, about super babies, you know, and how important it is for these young ladies to be microdosing and going on journeys with their children and calling down the qualities that they want with their child. You know what I mean? We forget that these women could actually call on certain quality. Oh, I want a painter. I want a philosopher. I want a warrior. I want a healer. You know, in my children's mother's case, she actually went down to the description of my son. You know what I mean? A certain way she wanted him to look at different things. And it was just like that when he popped out. You know what I mean? So we forget the power that we have. And the entheogens are nothing but a tool, you know, to heighten your awareness for such capabilities, because we've been so dumbed down during this age that people don't even realize that they could do these things. Women don't even realize that they could do these things, you know? So, yeah.
And, you know, the powers that be seem to be encouraging single parent households.
Right.
And for the diabolical purpose of stunting divine blossoming of the children. Sincere Seven, what's your take on it? How important is it for the daddy to be in the house while the child is in their formative years?
I feel like it's important for both of the parents to be in the house. That's a subject that I quite frequently speak on and speak very, very aggressively about. You know, just the simplicity of leaving the father out so easily of you know, the whole family or orientation. So yeah, I think it's very important for both of the parents to be around. You know, I don't think one is greater than the other. I don't think one is more important than the other. I think that the balance is very important, and the lack of either one of them being there is going to cause some type of issue, whether it's a toxicity or whether it's a deficiency. You know.
Duli, what's your take on it?
I was one of those people that grew up in my hood that I was like, out of all my friends that grew up, it was only 2 of my friends that actually had their father in their life out of all my friends growing up, you know?
Wow.
And it was like, my parents weren't together, right? But they were still involved in my life. You know what I mean? And I had a lot of good friends, a lot of that just didn't have their father. You know what I mean? So I seen how in a lot of ways there was a subtle level of envy going on with some of my peers, because it was like, wow, you know, you still know who your dad is, or, you know, your pops is in your life. You know what I mean? It wasn't meant for anybody for one parent just to be there. That's crazy. You know, just being able to workload, the education, everything that it entails to be able to have a great upbringing for your children. Not only did we just have 2 parents, but we had the whole village. You know, there's an old saying, it takes a village to raise a child.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that even that community type of village mentality to say, like, and we know that we're coming from the old school. So we know that I don't know the audience, but I remember if I skipped school, or if my neighbor seen me like I'm not in school, so they come up there and whip my ass and be like, yo, I'm gonna tell your grandma. You know what I mean? That, you know, where you at? You supposed to be in school, boy. You know what I mean? Where is that level of concern for our youth right now? So we're talking about a level, of course it doesn't make sense to have one person in a household, but we know this is all by design, not it's by the level of welfare, all these different things, Section 8, or can't be in the crib while the woman's there, he's not on the lease or whatever, all these type of things that come down to a level of survival. You know what I mean? But when we start to step out of that, and a lot of times ain't people's fault, we're dealing with generation of trauma here, and also we're dealing with fake ass food. You know what I mean? So you eating cardboard sandwiches, and your ass ain't even thinking right from the giddy up. So how the hell you gonna have a functional relationship?
Wow.
Okay, I want to show the flyer. Go ahead, y'all.
I was just going to say, so would you recommend a couple taking, like, say there's no children involved at this point, but maybe the couple has something going on in a relationship. Would you recommend that a couple take the shrooms together to sort of expand in a relationship, even if they've been together for maybe 5-6 years? Would it help? Do you think it would help, or would it make it worse? Does it matter if the relationship is already toxic, or does the relationship have to be smooth? Like, what do you think?
Deborah, Miss Bliss, we know it works. It's if the couple are willing to take it. That's the thing. You know, do you know that when they had couples therapy, they had they used to use MDMA, which is a very heart chakra medicine, but we understand that sometimes the MDMA could secrete too much serotonin out your brain. So there's things like sassafras, you know what I mean? And you could look at certain medicines, but if you do the studies back in the day when they had couples therapy and they was exploring psychedelics, they seen the level of relationships sticking together. The level of divorce rates dropped. And they said, hold on, wait a minute. This is too good. We gotta take this off the, you know what I mean?
Wow.
But of course, yeah, man, because we're talking about shadow work here. We understand that, like, listen, man, I don't know about y'all. Maybe you have a lot of new listeners out there that maybe never had a mushroom or maybe never had a sacred medicine. But I tell you, from the years of taking mushrooms per se, and I'm not even talking about other medicines, at the end of a trip, there's always this level of gratitude. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, everything's going to be okay, bro. Right. You know what I mean? Real talk. I mean, like every time, you know what I mean? It's like accepting yourself. Okay, I might not be this, I might not, but I'm okay. And I'm all right with that. And I'm gonna try better at this or try better at that. You know what I mean? But it's the great revealer. It's the revealer of yourself. And guess what? Some people might throw psychedelics or medicines out the window and say, oh, well, you know, you're depending on something. Listen, it's a tool. It's a stepping tool, right? But at the same time, a lot of these people who like to meditate and do certain things, they're not going to go deep within themselves. If they did, a lot of that shit would have came up to the surface from the get-go. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff already are coming from a place real deep, embedded in people's subconscious mind. You know what I mean? For crying out loud, I'll let people know right now. For years, I didn't know I was getting touched as a kid up in daycare. That's some shit I fucking just learned a couple of years ago. And the first time I learned it was at sitting on Sincere's couch, microdosing. And some shit came up and there was some memory. I was like, what the fuck was that? And it wasn't until lately, I think it was last two ceremonies I was at, where they actually, for the first time, showed the dude's face. He was touching cats up in the coat room. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was in preschool. You know what I mean? So it was like, and I remember I asked my father, I was like, yo, did anything happen to me when I was a little boy? And he's like, yeah, it was this white guy that got fired at the school because he was touching the children.
Wow.
I had no clue. This was way before I even had that realization. He never told me that.
And you know what?
You know what I mean?
I'm glad you brought that up.
So I'm gonna tell you. So all that made sense to me with a lot of my unconscious trauma, some of my phobias, some of the things that were coming up with me over the years, and just couldn't put a fingerprint on it. So you can't tell me, some of y'all out there, so, oh, well, you just do the shadow work, just meditate. Nigga, if you ain't going deep enough with your shit, you don't even know what the fuck you got going on with you. Real fucking talk.
Or you could be so traumatized that you might block it out.
That's right.
So
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And honestly,
that's what I'm saying.
Now listen, this is what I've also want to share. It's not fair to any of the brothers, and it's not fair to any of the sisters who you get together in intimacy, and then your trauma comes to the surface and you put it on the person that you're having the experience with, because they triggered your trauma. Especially what I've noticed in the hood is after orgasm, that's when the trauma and the drama comes up. Brother Sincere 7, could you touch on that, please?
So actually, I've got an example of something that goes a little bit deeper and kind of explains. And so, just to be clear, sometimes I use examples of. I don't use people's names. I'm not gonna tell you where they're from, this and that. So, but I will use real life situations sometimes when I talk. Um, so I have a sister that came to me and called me and was just explaining that. She had went through just like some real dark emotions and thoughts and a lot of things of this nature, and she couldn't understand where they were coming from. And it was like she's almost 40. She's like my age, so it was something that was real strange to her. Like, I have no idea where this is coming from. And so I asked her, I said, have you taken on any new sexual partners lately? And she said, I ain't really been having sex. And then she said, well, I mean, something happened, but it wasn't like sex. And I said, did you swallow? And she was like, what? And I said, did you swallow? She was like, yeah. You know what I'm talking about? I said, yeah.
There you go.
And she said, yeah, I did. I said, so did it happen after that? Like, was it starting shortly after that? And she went back and was thinking, and she called me back and she said, listen, you are so on point. She said, because once you got to saying that, I got to thinking, and that's exactly when it was the next day that I got up and started having all these crazy thoughts and feelings and emotions. She said, so I called the guy up after me and you talked, and I asked him, like, what's going on with him and if he's been going through a tough time lately and where he's at mentally and spiritually. And she said, sure enough, he was explaining to her that he's all bad. He can't sleep. He's going through depression. He's angry. There's some things going on in his life he don't really want to talk about. But, yeah, he's really, and that he really appreciates her. Now, pay attention, y'all. He really appreciates her because after that night, he felt like a lot of that had come off his chest and that he could operate with a little bit more clarity.
I guess so. Because he
You see
gave it
what I'm
to
saying?
her.
So yeah, he passed that on to her.
That spiritual disease.
Now let me give
Sexually transmitted trauma.
Let me tell you.
He gave her that STD.
Let me tell you, just for the sake of balance, this is a true story. I'm at the lab, and one of my homegirls that I go back with, she calls me. She's like, I just need to be around somebody. Can I come through? This is my ex. And I'm like, yo, come on. Cause I know she be going through, a lot of tough times and this and that. So she comes over, we're hanging out. She's kind of going through whatever she's going through. I can see it on her face, this and that. She gets on live with some of her peoples at her job and she's talking to them and, they're talking, yeah, I can see you going through it. Everything good, blah, blah, blah. All right, they get off. So later on, we sitting there and, she blesses me. All right. I sat there, let it happen. Boom. Right. So
Whoa, slow down.
About 30 minutes later, I mean, orally.
What kind of blessing did she give you, brother? Sincere.
She gave me some head. She gave me some head. She blessed me with some head.
She played upon your stick.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So about 30 minutes later, her people call her. And the people that she was on the live with earlier. And she answers the phone and she's talking to them. And they say, girl, you didn't fuck around and got you something. She said, not what you would think, but shit, I'm going to tell you what, I feel good to the motherfucker. And they was like, what happened? She said, I sucked the spiritual nigga's dick. She said it just like that. She said, I'm telling you, I feel great. I'm not bullshitting. You need to go and suck a spiritual nigga's dick. That's what she told her friends on the phone and shit. So I'm upstairs. Listen, I come to the stairs because I'm hearing it. I'm like, I just see what I think So I come to the stairs to listen. And sure enough, she down there telling them how much better she feels now that, you know what I'm saying, she did it. So it goes both ways, apparently.
You got that right.
That's right.
You got that right. Any words, Miss Bliss?
No, none whatsoever. No. My mouth is full.
So, Duli, talking about sexually transmitted trauma. What do you share about that subject, brother?
Well, like I said before, most people are not aware of what they're carrying. It's very unconscious. Some people do. We know those are vampires in a lot of ways, succubus, incubus type of people, and those people exist too, man. That prey on other individuals because they don't know how to generate their own life force energy. I've been doing Qigong for almost 30 years now. So I've a long time ago learned anyone can learn how to generate their own energy. But then you have people out there that aren't aware of that. And some people are and just don't care. And say, well, I'm just gonna suck him or her dry. You know what I mean? When I do psychic surgery with people, I see entities jump out of people. I've had so many different clients where I've seen entities come out of women's vaginas, some dark, smoky energy, go straight to the on an etheric level, and then go through the damn roof. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'll never forget. There was one brother. He was having uncontrollably shaking. He would be shaking. You know what I mean? Went to the doctor. They didn't know what was going on with him. You know what I mean? And it got dangerous. He could be driving the car wherever to work, whatever. All of a sudden, he'll start doing this spontaneous shaking thing. I remember I was working on him doing a healing on the brother. And at one point during the healing, I opened my eyes for a second and I seen this smoky type beam leave from the top of his head and went out my window. He hasn't had problems with that shaking thing ever since. So again, people don't know what they are even carrying with themselves, and thus the importance of doing daily cleanses for yourself. Me and Sincere over here, we deal with a lot of healing, cleansing medicines. I went to Costa Rica, maybe 7, 8 years ago, and I was dealing with Kambo. You know what I mean? I learned into the tradition of Kambo, which is the frog medicine. You know what I mean? That's the natural vaccination of the jungle. And of course, people have used it for so many different reasons within the jungle. The elders would use it for hunting, for the level of stamina and all these other things. Some people would use it for fevers or malaria or snake bites or any of these type of things. But the main thing they would use it for was for this term that they call panema. And panema means dark energy. You know what I mean? It means heavy energy. You know what I mean? So when a person does Kambo, and anybody who have Kambo before, they know for a fact it's hard work doing that medicine. You're puking, you're going to the bathroom, you're sweating, your heart rate is going faster, you're feeling nausea, all this, your face is blowing up. Like it's an ordeal. But everyone says the same thing. The next day, they feel clean as a whistle. So even when it comes to negative energy or even trauma that a person is carrying on themselves, Kambo is even great for people who love to throw hexes at people, because you have a lot of jealous people behind closed doors that want to throw shade. So there's different ways that you could even use Kambo as a form of psychic protection. Okay.
Oh yeah, Kambo's known to break curses, family.
Yes. So that's what the family really need to do, is keep on doing medicines and work that is going to clean you. So when you do have somebody that you encounter with, like Hank and Miss Bliss said, you ain't passing on those spirit diseases to people. You got to clean yourself out and take it serious. You know what I mean? And you'll know when you need a cleanse. Your mind is foggy, you're tired, you're aggravated, all these different signs of showing that you need to clean yourself out. When you start doing these medicines more on a regular basis, you'll be walking through life in a level of serenity.
Well, I appreciate
no monkey mind.
I appreciate, we're going to call it let's find a nice word, Miss Bliss, to call Duli's services so that he won't get tagged by the Matrix Centurions. When Duli serves apples, and we're going to talk about, you have different kind of apples. You have green apples that Tell us about the latest green apples, Duli, that you're
It ain't
serving.
apples. Duli be serving sperm. That look like sperm to me. I don't know. He be
Oh,
dropping them
now we
on
bringing
top.
Bliss to the
He
front.
got
Go
some
ahead. What you
strong
serving?
sperm. He got some kundalini sperm. He can drop on y'all. He got sperm that will heal the yoni, the womb. Yeah, that's
The elixirs,
sperm.
the elixirs.
Dude,
Yes, the elixirs are very, very important. You know, I learned that medicine when I was out in Mexico. No, I was in Oaxaca. And Oaxaca is one of the key places
No, don't
in
give up too
Mexico.
much information, bro. You're on an open line, and they are watching
Okay,
you. All right?
got you, bro.
And
But it's
that's
a
why
beautiful.
Miss Bliss said it's sperm you're serving.
Okay,
But now the
so
brothers ain't gonna come to that, but the sisters will come hand over fist. Mhm.
Okay, so one of the levels of this quote unquote sperm is dealing with a level of cleaning a person's brain out. You know, we have some things on a neurological level. You know, we have some things that's definitely on dealing with type 2 diabetes. On some of one of these great medicines or elixirs or sperms is dealing with the level of ancestral trauma, you know, and the level of what we was talking about before, shadow work. And I have to tell you, family, everyone that have sat with me on that particular one, things have been coming up for people to the surface. It's like one sister that was there in New York, where we was in Brooklyn, and she left after she got her treatment, left out, and eventually was just crying right there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it just brings things up to the surface. And I tell you, man, Hank, I haven't felt as good as this in a long time, bro. You know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
People are saying I'm starting to look younger. What was interesting was that I had even a client last week, war veteran, right? She had an injury where there was this pressure on her brain. All right. Within the treatment, that very day, while on it, she daggone say what up, my son here. The pressure directly left her brain while in session. I'm not talking about a day later. I'm not talking about a week later. I'm talking right when she was in session. And what was so interesting with this woman is that she said, Duli, I feel calm. Because this woman had been taking medication, you know, because war veterans, a lot of them deal with post-traumatic stress disorder, right? So she was like, Duli, I feel calm. She's like, I don't know what this feeling is. And she was being totally real with me. Like, you have to understand, some people live in a state of anxiety, depression 24/7. You know what I mean? So for a person to be like, yo, I feel calm, that's more than, man, that was just so beautiful, man.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
I want to now bring both you and Sincere 7 forward. How important is detoxing before doing any entheogens, Sincere 7?
So again, like I said, for me, I advise it to almost any and everybody, because everything ain't for everybody, but the majority of the clients that come through the pad, that's one of the first things that we advise is that they cleanse, that they do the Kambo, because it takes some of the work out for the entheogens. Like, some things don't have to be addressed by mushrooms. Some things can be addressed by a conversation, by cleansing, by communicating effectively, by being a little bit more honest, by grounding for a minute. I had to go myself and go sit by the water and just sit there. Just sit there for a minute and calm yourself and just think through some things. So that in itself is a cleansing type for the mind of exercise, like meditation and qigong.
Right.
So cleansing is definitely, it's like rinsing the dishes before you put them in the dishwasher. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you could just put them straight in there, but when it go through, some things might not get addressed because that should have been addressed during the pre-clean. You know what I mean? So I again highly advise it. Like, and then some entheogens like ayahuasca, they like, don't worry, we'll clean you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got that right.
Don't worry, we'll cleanse you.
Right.
Again, if you mushrooms, some people tell me, I'll be like, yo, fast. They talk about, oh, the mushrooms, they made me throw up. I'll be like, fast. They be like, I did. And I say, you still threw up? Yeah. Oh, you must need to. You must need to. And it's like, yo, you might want to start working on your diet because it shouldn't even be nothing in your stomach to throw up. You understand? It's like, wait a minute, that should have been gone 6, 7, 8 hours ago. So if you really fasting, what is it that is going on with you? And again, like Brother Duli, I think said earlier, it might have been you, like the mushrooms are the revealers. So they'll reveal things to you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these things will reveal things to you that you didn't even know. I had matter of fact, the same young lady I was just talking about, she had came another time, and when she came over, I'm like, yo, you want to do some Kambo? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't feeling like this, blah, blah, blah. Let's do some Kambo. She said, all right, did some Kambo. 2 days later, I called her. She said, I'm in the hospital. What happened? She said, I was in excruciating pain after the Kambo. Like, did that do something to me? I'm like, what you mean? What's going on? She said, they said I'm passing the kidney stone. I said, oh, well, there you go. Whoa. Yeah.
Could you, some people are asking what is Kambo? So could you give them a little bit more information about, where it comes from and maybe the process when they're taking it?
So, Duli, you want to do this? Or you want me to cover it?
You already built it already, bro.
So Kambo, there's a frog called the Phyllomedusa bicolored tree frog, aka the giant waxy tree frog. And down in Latin American, Southern America, South America, in different places, this frog has a secretion in the rainforest where it lives, the Amazon, different places. It has a secretion that it oozes out of his back for protection. It's the only frog that can stand in the sun and not dry out, you know what I'm saying, not die because of the secretion. But also, if anything bites it, stings it, attacks it, poisons it, anything like that, the secretion comes out and it neutralizes it. It's one of the strongest antibacterial, antimicrobial, antiviral. It's the strongest detox that you could take in the world. If you watch 72 most deadliest animals of Latin America, in about the 4th or 5th episode, they talk about it. So if you want to hear it, you know what I'm saying, from a source on the TV or whatnot. But basically, the secretion is collected by the indigenous people and put on the back of sticks, dried out, and sent to medicine men. And the way we basically apply it is we take a stick, and a small little stick, and we burn the tip of it till it's red hot. And then we dab it. Brother Duli is showing y'all the stick right now.
Hold on, let me bring him up.
So we take a stick, burn it till it's hot, and we dab that on your skin. And then we take a paper towel and rub that piece of skin, and it comes off, and it opens up what we call a gate. So it'll look like a white mark, under the skin or whatnot. And then I take a spoon, and I tell you, now, different people do this different ways. I'm going to tell you how Sincere 7 do it. One thing is, we don't tell no medicine man he do nothing right or wrong. Everybody got their own style. The way I was taught, the client spits in a spoon, okay? And I take a knife and I dip it in that spit, in that saliva. Wow. And I select a piece of that Kambo stick and I place that saliva on the stick so that it can activate the saliva, activate the Kambo back to its living state. And you are now the host, not the frog.
That is deep, brother. I've never seen anybody do that.
Do what?
Do it. Continue, please.
Oh,
I'm in awe.
So, your saliva is letting it know that you are the host. So then I scrape that Kambo off into the spoon of your saliva, which hydrates it. And now the Kambo can read any viruses, bacteria, disease, anything within your body that it needs to take care of as it's hydrating. I mix it up into a little mucusy type of solution or whatnot, almost like a booger, and I put it on that gate, and we allow that Kambo to absorb into your system. And now you have the protection of that Kambo, just like you are the frog. It's in your body now. This is a mystical art practice. You're becoming one with the earth, and now you can use her power for your own benefits. So now you have this Kambo secretion, and Duli showing you his gates of snake venom gates and Kambo gates. You have this secretion that's in your body that lasts anywhere from 3 months to 6 months. And so when you come upon a virus, or a virus comes upon you and it enters your body, that Kambo starts to address it, to neutralize it, to destroy it. This is what a lot of us utilize for our protection when COVID was at its highest. Me being the Detroit medicine man, people will go to the hospital and get told that they have COVID, and they will leave and come to the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. And when they would show up, the first thing I would tell them is, take your mask off. We don't wear masks here. And they would say, I got COVID though. And I said, I don't care. If I'm your medicine man and I'm telling you I'm about to cure you, why would I be scared of what you have? Okay. So I have not gotten COVID at all at the time of that. And I've had at least 20 people COVID positive come through my doors, as well as I've had people come and say, well, if you're saying that this is going to cure me, if I go to the hospital tomorrow, will I test negative? And I say, I don't know, I don't really be going to the hospitals, but you could try it. And at least 3 people have told me that the next day, after they got up the next morning, they went to the hospital and got a COVID test, and they all tested negative.
That's awesome. So I got a question to ask that is a epidemic. People with herpes, cold sores, genital herpes. How does Kambo help with that? And Duli, I want you to follow up with your grape seed therapy.
So I'm going to keep it brief, and I'm going to say this, that Kambo can address it. However, that virus is intracellular. It can go into your cells, into your cells and lay dormant, right? And the Kambo does not go into your cell. So the snake venoms, there's different types of snake venoms that are intracellular. So if you were, let's say that you were just exposed to somebody that had herpes and you found out, that might be good enough to go and do Kambo to flush this out your system before it has time to go deep into your cells. However, some people have had this for years. I would say that Kambo might not be enough. You would want to go on a regimen with Kambo and snake venom at the same time, so that the snake venom can be intracellular and assist the Kambo in addressing that. So that's what I have to say. I'm gonna pass it over.
Sincere, that was off the bomb there, brother. Thank you. Hold on, we got to bring Duli now with his grape therapy. Grape therapy with your multiple colored grapes, Duli, for the purpose of
I'm current.
I'm with the sperm, but we're gonna talk about grapes because it's non-gender.
Yeah, I could dig.
So you have some green grapes, you got white grapes, you got black grapes, you got blue grapes. Do you have grapes that will address the epidemic of herpes? Viruses,
sure.
HIP. That's hip.
Yeah,
all
for
that
sure.
kind of stuff.
For sure.
Tell us some of your experiences.
I'm currently working with a young lady right now that's dealing with that. Right now, I just seen her earlier this morning, so I gave her like Sincere. I'm one of those people that give Kambo and then my other medicine, or in this case, the grape seed. So I did both medicines with her this morning. She's been this is her second treatment. So she automatically, from her first treatment, automatically said how she was feeling more energetic, that she usually would have outbreaks. She wasn't seeing any outbreaks on the skin so far. So I'm gonna keep on working with her, but I've worked with other people in the past with that. In regard to HI, what you said, P. There's another grapeseed oil that deals with that, but I have to go back to Mexico for that one, you know. But there's ones that definitely deal with that one as well. And again, these things work on the DNA cellular level. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
We're gonna call it something that Miss Bliss can accept. We're gonna call it your various oils. How's that, Miss Bliss?
Yes, that's excellent.
Is that better? So, Duli,
yes,
for the purpose of keeping you alive, and you and Sincere 7 being able to serve the community, we'll call it oils.
Oh, okay. I see what y'all say. Okay.
Oh, you just
I was trying to figure this out for the last 5 minutes.
That's funny.
You just caught that, bro.
That's funny. Yeah.
How about organic alchemies?
We'll call them grapes.
Okay.
Grape oil. Grapeseed oil. So because we got Miss Bliss that wants the seeds, you know. So we got
Miss Bliss. Hold on, real quick. Is that a painting of you, Miss Bliss, behind you?
Oh,
yes.
Duli. It
was a gift.
Yo, that shit's dope, yo. Wow. Yo, that's hot.
It was a gift. Someone gave it to me.
Yo, that's hot, yo. I like that. I like that.
She's saying you better come right or going home to your mama. Going home. Gone. So listen, I gotta put up the banner for the contact information. Wait a second. I want to thank Miss Bliss for this beautiful video she put together.
Oh yeah, thank you, Miss Bliss.
Yeah, and I want to save it and share it. It's beautiful. And also they have put in we got to get the information as far as contact, because we got over 300 folks from everywhere listening in, Sincere and Duli.
So someone asked, do you have anything for alopecia and cancer?
Oh yeah, definitely cancer.
I want y'all to answer.
Definitely cancer. Alopecia, I'm not sure. Sincere, you might want to jump on that one.
So that actually, so first of all, my own personal testimony, again, I don't really frequent the doctors unless I have to get some information that I don't have some equipment to get. But I found a lump in my right testicle some months back. And whether it was benign or not was not an interest to me. I just knew I did not want it there. Okay. So I utilized, I guess I'll just say one of the grapeseed
oils.
I utilized one of them and removed it myself. After 2 weeks, it was gone. Now I had a client that came to me, and she had actually experienced in her life having bone cancer, having breast cancer, and then having lung cancer.
Wow.
And beat them all with radiation and chemotherapy and a mixture, all of that. And when she came to me, they told her she had stage 2 bone cancer. And I was like, well, I know grapes that do different things, but the actual bone one is new to me. So give me a couple days and I'll get back at you. And as I was studying, one of my partners was talking with me about these different things. And he said, hey, look at this right here. It say you can mix your grapes and they do different things. Like this one battles myeloma. Wow. And I was like, myeloma, I think that's skin cancer. He was like, let me look it up, OG. And he looked it up. He was like, no, that's bone cancer. I'm like, okay, my bad. And I went back to what I was doing. And I was like, wait, what? Let me see that. So I looked and I called her up and I said, yo, is the name of what you got myeloma? She said, yeah, multiple myeloma. I said, okay, look, I got good news and I got great news. She said, what? I said, the good news is I found the recipe for what you're dealing with. It's a mixture of 2 different grapes. And she was like, oh, what's the great news? I said, the great news is I got both of the grapes here. So you can come start your treatment. So I gave her 2 of those, and then 2 of another. So 4 total treatments. And then at the end, I gave her Kambo. And she went to the doctor September 26th. And she called me and said, my appointment took 30 minutes. It took 5 minutes for them to tell me that I'm cancer-free, that the tumor that was in between my 12th and 13th ribs is no longer there, and that the surgery that they had me scheduled for to remove some of my ribs because of the rate of deterioration is no longer needed because they're not deteriorating. That was 5 minutes. The other 25 minutes was them asking me, how the hell was I able to do that?
Got to give it to the grapes.
That was one of the greatest testimonies that I've had thus far with something that advanced and that serious.
Wow.
And you have grapes for strokes. There's someone asking about a stroke. I know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got that. We got that.
Grapes for everything. I mean,
there's a person that studies what we're calling grapes, and he said, I'm fully convinced that there's not a disease that we know that cannot be addressed by them. And I mean, I feel the same, and I feel the same way about mushrooms. There's one that will cure everything. Not one that will cure everything, but there's one for whatever there is you're dealing with. There's a mushroom and or quote unquote grape that will address it. That's my beliefs. I'm fully willing to bet my farm to a bushel of apples, or however they say it.
Yeah. Grapes and apples is a nice combination. We got somebody saying here about hernia.
And autism. Well, is autism a disease? I don't know about autism. Is that a...
So that's the 3 things that I am trying to figure out which grapes and what mixture is autism, sickle cell, and lupus. Me and Brother Duli has spoke about this before, and trying to bring things to the community with the use of these, because they're not a one size fits all, or if you just have this, it'll do this. Some of them, like I said about the myeloma, you had to mix 2 of them to create the actual alchemy that will address it, or the grapes that will address it. So it's more to just having it and utilizing it. There's a study that goes with it. There's spirituality that comes with it. It's a technology just like the mushrooms. And the more that you learn to utilize them and honor them and really tap in the right ways, that's where the blessings of being able to recall what all these things do, what you can address, and how you can operate, you know what I'm saying, is bestowed upon you, you know?
Yes. Nice. So people are asking about skin cancer and prostate cancer, colon cancer. Cancer's cancer. I mean, but does it matter if someone has breast cancer? Do you put it here? If someone has colon cancer, do you put it there? Like, does it matter, or does that help when you come closer to the location of where the sickness is?
I mean, it can help, and then it can, because the medicine, like the Kambo, goes to where it needs to go. You know what I mean? But there are cases where there been more effectiveness where you put it in certain areas. Say, for instance, if somebody's having back pain, put it directly on the back. If somebody wants more brain activity, putting it near the base of the neck and different things. So there is a difference, don't get me wrong. But the medicine is so potent that it has an intelligence within itself and know how to go to the affected area, you know. But there are differences. Normally, there's one particular grape that deals with various cancers, but then there's other ones like today I treated somebody with prostate issues, and it was I had to check in with my teacher, and I realized it was a whole different grape than I thought. You know, I usually use one particular one for cancer, but then he was like, nah, you might want to roll with this other one for the prostate issues. So it's like Sincere said, it's a constant learning journey with this medicine. and it takes time. You know, that's why it's not, if you're seeking anybody out that does this type of work, you want to make sure they are studious and they're about their business and learning about the ins and outs of these medicines. You know,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right. Nice. Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, you got me spinning my pyramids. Y'all got me spinning my pyramids with this beautiful insights, man. Spin, pyramid, spin. Give the people the healing they need. Duli, Sincere 7. I want to set up the banner while you're being interviewed. Duli, is it okay I drop your number? And what's your social media contact info?
Yeah, you could get my
Duli,
social media.
what is that, Duli? What are you doing, Duli?
This
That's
is my
the
wrestling
mask.
mask
That's the grape.
that I got while I was in Mexico. This
No,
is
that's
what
the
I put
mask
on
of grape.
before I do some rapping.
Yeah. So when you go to see him, he'll have this grape therapy mask on. All right, I got your number up here, Duli. What's your social media contact info?
It's Shaman Duli on Facebook and also Instagram. Yeah.
Sincere 7.
Wonderfulness.
Yeah, you can put my my website link, psychonautdetroit.org. I put it in the chat, I think.
Duli on Instagram and Facebook.
And then I'm Sincere Genesis on Facebook.
Sincere 7.
Sincere Genesis.
Okay, let me just typing while I got this. Sincere 7 contact info.
Yep. Psychonautdetroit.org.
Baraka's in the chat. He wants to know, what's your wrestling name, Duli? what's your avatar wrestling name?
Psychonaut 7? Sincere 7?
On what?
Instagram.
On Instagram, I'm the Detroit Medicine Man.
And what is that Psychonaut? The Psychonaut is
psychonautdetroit.org is my website link where people can actually reach out and see our website and what all we do and all of those things. That's psychonautdetroit.org. And then on Facebook, I'm Sincere Genesis.
Okay, I hope I got Psychonaut spelt right, but I'll let you see it. And
Baraka is
The
El
Man.
Supernaga.
Oh, hold on. Instagram is what?
The Detroit Medicine Man.
Detroit.
Someone put it in the chat. It says someone put it in the chat, Detroit Medicine Man.
Okay, got it. All right, so y'all check this. Make sure I got the spelling and everything right. Adding the banner now. Scrolling across the bottom.
There you go.
Oh, wait a second. No. I see a little glitch in the matrix. Let me hide that for a second. Duli, what's your phone number again?
617-386-9502. And if I don't,
he might answer the phone, he might not. But,
I might not, but I will get back to you. And quick shout out, if I can, Hank. There's going to be a event in Detroit, actually, February 5th, and it's going to be the mycelium connection with the cryptocurrency. There are going to be a couple of speakers there. Sister Paige, going to be there. Keisha, Mama Yana's daughter, different folk that's going to be speaking upon technology in the mushrooms. I could try to send a flyer to you, Hank, but it's very interesting. Now I'm gonna be one of the speakers up there too, and be there for psychic surgery or any other type of modalities if you're in the Detroit area at that time.
Got you.
Hey, if you don't mind, I'm glad we throwing shouts out real quick. January 25th, National Geographic is dropping a psychedelics documentary, and I have a large part in it. It'll be on National Geographic. Then it's going to be on the Disney Channel and on Hulu. So watch out for that. It drops again January 25th, like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So, look through your UAP or whatnot. The end of this month, doing ayahuasca ceremony and dealing with PTSD through entheogens and things like that. So that's going to be dope. So watch out for that, y'all.
Yo, congratulations, bro.
Thank you, man.
Congratulations. Yes, sincere in the house.
Now listen, that's all fine and dandy. But when you go mainstream in this kind of information, you have to make sure that you have the umbrella of protection under church status. And I'm talking about a solid church. I ain't talking about something, superficial, because they will come after you based on the history. When they throw you up there in the mainstream news, believe me, like, Andrew Tate just got being sacrificed because he's making people think outside of the matrix. So the information, sincere, we appreciate you. Make sure that you have church status of protection, because and then you can have people join your church so that they will be a member of your church, and this is the mana of your spiritual belief. Like special shout out to Native American Church Joanna and Oswald. They're under the auspices of the Native American Church, because the pharmaceutical gangsters, they have their agenda where they don't want the expendable cash going in directions of effective therapies. So, just want to put that out there, to protect you and protect Duli, because, your hearts are sincere, and it doesn't sound like you're trying to pay off your college tuition versus helping people.
I'll show you. I give thanks for that. Keeping us aware, that needs to be. And so I give thanks for that. Definitely.
Yeah, because when you hit mainstream media, the innocent cash cows are not the only one watching. That's when you have, the ruling elite are also watching the news, or they have the agents watching the news. And that's why at the beginning of each show, I call upon the ascended masters to guide the show and protect everybody who's on the platform, because high frequency rules over low frequency. And the number of people on the planet's surface there's no way they're trying, but they can't control the rapid reproduction of humanity. So their attitude is, if we can't control them, we'll kill them. Oh, we got a virus coming down the pipeline. Billy Boy saying that there's going to be problems later on in the year. I didn't say specific name, but because the Machiavelli technique of rulership is through fear. And because of the diet and everything, people are fearful, even though ain't nobody getting off the planet alive. Go ahead, Duli.
Even though, and I totally agree with Hank is saying, I appreciate that too, Hank. But yeah, I'm going to also highlight the times that we're in. My father, he was into mysticism, and my mother too. And that's what really got me into a lot of this. I have to give my credit to both of them, on my foundation. But I want to big up Baba Kalindi.
That's right.
And the elder, a lot of, he's the mushroom master, hands down. And he said this was the time of X-Men, where our DNA is turning fully on very soon. So the things that we thought were impossible are going to be popping off. I never, ever, ever forgot this sister that was right from my hood, never was into metaphysics, occult information, or any of these type of things. She experienced what the East Indians would call, cities. It's a common term that you're here in the yoga traditions. And cities are what we call supernatural powers. This sister had a experience of levitation while she was running one early morning, you know what I mean? and she couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it. She was off the ground for a couple of seconds, off the ground a couple of inches, but she freaked her out. And these things will normally freak people out because we think we're just operating from 5 sense reality, you know? So when she went home and told her mom what happened, her mom's reaction was classic. Her mom was like, girl, that ain't nothing. I did that in my early 20s too. You don't know that runs in our family? You know what I mean? So when we think of the real life superheroes, not Stan Lee, when we're talking about, or Jack Kirby, we're talking about people like Simio Toko. We're talking about Sheikh Amadou Bamba. You know, we had Uncle Hank had Brother Sufi on the other day, you know, and he's the one that put me on to the initiation into the order. And these things were common in very remote areas. If you go into the Himalayan mountains, one of my favorite yogis, he was born maybe about 600, 700 years ago. His name was Milarepa. The man he was known to fly. The man was known to be able to do shape shifting into animals, all kinds of things. And for instance, Simio Toko, it was when the government was trying to get at him, he said, okay, y'all took so many attempts on my life. Guess what? I'm going to leave on my accord. But when I come back, and he said, I am coming back, there's going to be others just like me. You know what I mean? And you can't stop what nature can provide for you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's either love or fear. And what they do, their biggest magic is to keep you in a fear state so your supreme goddesshood can't turn on. And we have to understand that it's real. You know what I mean? We have to take this so serious that this is a mission for every individual that is into this great awakening to be on their mind 24/7. You know what I mean? To the point that, yes, you become bulletproof. Yes, you become knife proof and all that. You know what I mean? Because just like Brother Sufi, hungry lion proof. Because just like Brother Sufi said, you know what I mean? The reason why a lot of people deal with police brutality here in the US, because they don't exercise their magic. Word is born. You know what I mean? Sufi said, man, please. He said, them Africans, when they come here, he says they put their magical talismans in their cars. You know what I mean? They carry it on themselves, and they're literally invisible to these forces. You know what I mean? I never forgot. Yo, I never forgot. When I was at Kalindi's funeral, right? There was an elder that told us that Kalindi went into the Vatican basement and stayed there the whole night. Kalindi was known to walk through situations and not be seen. You know what I mean? He walked through there unseen, and when he walked out as a tourist. You know what I mean? I really wish when he was alive, I was wishing I knew about that at the time, because I'm just imagining what Kalindi was seeing in that Vatican basement. You know what I mean? So we have to be mindful and walk in wisdom. I totally agree with Hank on that, because we see how they take out the leaders all the time. But a lot of these leaders did not embrace their full potential, their power. Even Dick Gregory, when it was an interview when they were saying, how come all your elders, all your peers were taken out, but you were never taken out, Dick Gregory? It wasn't that he was part of the Boule. It was because he encountered a very wise elder that put protection over him. And when snipers were literally on the rooftop ready to take him out, something would happen. Next thing to know, the sniper fall off the building or whatever. That's what they really fear, is you going deep within your power, within your magic. You know what I mean? That's historically even shown within Haiti. And we know that. And because of them exercising their magic, they made sure damn well to make sure the future generations were to look at it as something to be demonized, right, or to be feared or not looked at. You know what I mean? I know I seen it was something I put on my Facebook page one day. It showed a person doing a Shango ritual, and it showed the dude had a machete, and he was up there slicing things around him to show you that it was sharp as anything. Then when the dude is ready for his little ritual thing, he took that same machete and tried to slice across his chest, try to slice across his stomach and all that. Wouldn't make one cut. You know what I mean? We have to understand how powerful we are. And because we're in a time of what we consider to be the Kali Yuga, the most disconnected from our true selves and nature, then of course, we're going to think that we can't do any of these things because we don't see it. But if you come from a culture where it's very common to see shapeshifters or people flying or walking through walls or even stopping bullets, you know what I mean? Then that's the norm. We understand that's part of our blueprint. You know what I mean? I'll never forget. It was one lady. Remember we went, Hank, to that place in Detroit, and there was projects, and they made it into this garden place or whatever. There was an elder there.
Compound.
I forget her name. Yeah, the compound. There was an elder there. She just passed away. Queen Oshun something. I forget her name. Beautiful elder.
I remember that.
Queen Mother.
Yeah. Huh?
What'd you say? What'd
You
you
talking
say?
about Ohana Gardens? Queen Mother?
Yeah. Queen Mother. She told me, she said, Duli, you can't forget the magic we hold. She was at this ceremony where this dude had a gun pointing at one of the initiates, and he had a special talisman on him. And when he shot the gun, the bullets turned into water. On everything she loved, she witnessed it firsthand.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So we gotta go back to the old ways. This is all about going back to the old ways. This is what this is about. And we have strayed from our traditions and our legacy. I understand the time that we're in. But when you get a whiff to know that these things are possible, then goddamn it, you gotta jump on it. You know what I mean? Real talk.
That's right.
You have people here in New York City. The Chinese have their shrines in the back of their stores, restaurants. Pakistani, they have their amulets. Every indigenous people have their amulets. And you don't hear about police rolling up on them and blowing their brains out. You don't hardly hear anything about Africans, every now and then, but hardly ever. Because as Ifakunle said, the only thing we have left is our magic and spirituality, to develop a relationship with crystals, with certain herbs. Like while you was talking, Dooley, I'm gonna show this real quick, just so that y'all can practice this. What would happen? And I'm just listening to the show, and this is what popped in my head. You get the pyramid, and then put a crystal underneath to spin it. What kind of vortex is this creating? I don't even know. I just know I started doing this while Dooley was talking. All right. So please continue, brothers and sisters, because that's my food delivery, and I'll be right back. How important, Cynthia 7, how important are amulets, even for children?
Well, so I mean, I'm gonna tell you the first thing that came to mind when he said that was because it depends on your practice. That's what I'm gonna say. It depends on your practice because everybody's practice is different. So so such things as the Yiming Jews. Let's touch on that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard, and I think Duli might remember this when we was hearing talk where Master Peter Andreas was laying down some information about the Yiming Jews, and somebody asked about, which one was best for their child, and he was like, none of them. The power and the energy and the understanding of the Yiming Jew is not for a child. It's something that's so powerful and so great that that's for somebody who has a further understanding of. So me, I'm a firm believer of rites of passages and initiations and things of that nature. And so I feel like that would be something that we need to bring back to ourselves as a culture, so that we can understand which amulets, which stones, which crystals, which magical talismans and things are. Because like he was saying, what does this do? I'm not sure. I was doing it when Duli was talking, right? So some things we not even sure of the energy and power on them yet. So we need to be able to go in deep and figure these things out and set some understanding to them. It looked like Brother Duli got something to say. I'm gonna pass that mic.
The Ying Man Zoo, Sincere was saying, these are the original like Dragon Balls. Like, it's funny, I got my Dragon Ball Z hoodie on, but they all around the whole every culture, they had these type of crystals, and they amplify your particular gifts, your energy, and also they're like storehouses of information. So when you do your traversing throughout the multiverse, you're able to download particular informations on particular constellations that you go to, and you're able to go back to that place whenever you want. This was the information that was brought to us by Baba Kalindi. You might have a journey where you went to a particular ancestral realm, for instance, and you was able to kick it with your great grandfather or whatever, and you wanted to go back there, but you don't have the roadmap or the blueprint of knowing how to get back there. That's where these particular crystals come in handy. They're like, we have to first of all, we have to understand that when we look at modern day technology, the modern day technology we have is elementary in comparison to what our ancestors were dealing with. It might not look like a laptop or iPhone, but we knew the true potential of how to use a crystal and all that it encompassed. We knew how to use particular woods, like Brother Sufi was talking about the particular acacia wood that could be used in magical rituals, on your level of adornment. Baba Kalindi talked about how we use certain math as interdimensional travel, as a form like acacia wood. And when you put the mask on and when your pores are opening, you're sweating, it activates the psychoactive compound and you go into that natural psychedelic state. So these are technologies that we can utilize, and in the book, best way to learn how to use it is by just practicing it. You don't have to necessarily go into with a mushroom or what have you. You can go into a psychedelic state by breathing. You know what I mean? By literally learning how to breathe in certain ways to bring more DMT, to activate more DMT in your lungs and in your pineal gland, and thus be able to stare at this crystal in a certain angle to be able to open up its true potential, But it just takes practice, and taking practice is literally taking time for yourself. Now, I want to add on to even something that was even piggybacked about our powers. Sister Acacia, big up to her. She talked about the shapeshifters in South America as well, and how they were going against the Spaniards at that time and did not know how to deal with these individuals. You know what I mean? Imagine someone next minute they're turning into a jaguar or whatever, and going at you, And then we have to understand that these people did not fear death. And that was one of the key components to daggone control apocalypse. If you could feel like, oh, death is the only last thing, that's the end. We get previews of death dealing with Bufo. We get previews of death going deep with these medicines, and we know that we are part of the all. That's right. There's no getting around it. I mean, there's one film that I've seen which blew my mind, and I encourage everyone to see this film. It is called The Green Frontier. It's on Netflix. Please watch it, family. Please watch it. Because what they're talking about is the immortals that are living right among us. You know what I mean? They had one sister in the jungle. She didn't age for I don't know how long. And the people were saying, oh, she's the living goddess. And they showed the Nazis in the damn film trying to infiltrate the spirit world so they can weaponize it. You know what I mean? The film is deep. And when one of the dudes that was trying to pose as this helper for the indigenous people, he was just trying to get the secrets of the spirit realm. The lady was like, you don't belong here. Your mentality does not belong here. You know, you're not one with great spirit. Almost so like these individuals, when you go against the laws of Ma'at, when you go against the true laws of nature itself, you're going to get your ass kicked. All right? I don't care how much technology you have. I don't care how big of an army or whatever you have. It only takes a big earthquake, a tornado, or whatever to fucking start shit back over. And we see civilizations over and over again that come and fall. So people are going to get humbled if they like it or not.
Right.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. You have certain individuals that are so deluded with their sense of power that they forgot that it's the all within the all. In Buddhism, in Tibetan Buddhism, they call it form is emptiness and emptiness is form. There's nothing that is not connected. Everything is connected. So we got to stop playing these games.
So with that being said, family, we got about 350 people from all over the world listening to the show. This is what we're going to do for Sincere 7 and Duli. We're going to send them some healing, protection, and prayer energy. And all you have to simply do is let me find the right music. All you have to simply do is focus your attention, because where your attention goes, energy flows. And I'm going to add music to this in a second. Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna do it because let's see what this sounds like. Let me see. I'm looking for the music. Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
All right, audience from all over the world, put your hands up and focus on Duli and Sincere 7. We're going to send them prayers of protection. I am in me. I am in Mrs. Bliss. I am in Sincere 7. I am in Duli. We in the audience. I am in the audience. We individually and collectively send love beings of light. I am divine victory. I am divine protection. Yes, I am love supreme. Surrounding Sincere 7. Surrounding Duli. Yes, I am victorious. I am within the audience now and in the future. We are self-realized blessings of heavenly light shining through the crown of our heads and through our hands tonight, today, tomorrow, for weeks and months to come. And we say Ashe, Mahalo, Donada, Wado, Amin. There it is.
Ashe.
There it is.
Oh, thank you.
I'll tell you, that eggplant served me right. Okay.
Hey yo, you remember Sandman?
That's a shout out to Danny Sandman.
He gave you a gift, right?
Look what he sent me when I came to New York the other day. He sent me a toy of the Avatar, a collectibles item.
Wow. You know, Duli, he called me and he told me that he had a gift for you, and that he didn't tell me what the gift was. Oh my goodness.
Yo, hold it up to the screen again. Let's see that again. Wow. Wow, he made that? Whatever it is.
He bought it and sent it to me, man. You know?
That's awesome.
And yeah, and it just shows you the difference of consciousness again. Because I grew up with G.I. Joe and Transformers and all that stuff. And, you know, And these kids, I remember the first time I seen the Avatar series. I was going out with this young lady. She had 2 young sons, and and watching this show, and I was like, the show was talking about the chakras on the cartoon to the kids. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, this is what these youngins is watching. You know what I mean? So it's showing you, the signs are showing you all around that the upgrade is happening. You know, Naroko or whatever the other cartoon is. The on that show showing the kids about the mudras and all that. You know what I mean? Naruto, how you say it? Naruto or whatever?
No, I thought it was.
I don't know. Yeah,
listen,
but
you know what I learned? Listen, family. Look how you can flip fear into power. In the news, they were showing that the Aryan Nation and the KKK would do a sign like "OK" as their symbol.
Right.
You know what Sheikh Sufi said? That the yogis, the mystics, this means you're divine. This is a symbol of Allah, according to Sheikh Sufi.
Yes, and it works.
Fingers, it's the symbol of Allah.
And it works, Hank. I was using that the other day because I was in front of one of these family members that kind of get on my nerves sometime. And I was like, man, may put my hand in this position like that while I was sitting down. I've just felt the energy just traveling through my body, through my meridians, and I just chilled right out at that moment. This stuff works. You know what I mean? So again, your ancestors, the avatars, the ascended masters, all of them, they ain't gonna leave you hanging. It's just you gotta do your research. You gotta seek people out, real teachers that are going to impart these technologies, these different things that you can do for yourself, for you to be self-realized. Self-realization is the key. You know what I mean?
Family, thank you for that, Duli. And family, keep the cell phone and at least the cell phone, keep it away from your children. Don't let your children play with your cell phone unless you have some really serious cell phone shielding, because that liquid crystal display has a lot of energy to diminish intelligence. They don't want intelligent children in years of and days of tomorrow. They need dumbed down, obeying, fearful slaves like a broken dog. So keep the cell phones out of the room of the children, especially in their formative years, at least until 7 or 9. Keep the phones away from them. Let them develop their make-believe abilities. When we were kids, Duli, sincere, we would make believe with sticks and and we would put together blocks to create imagination.
That's right.
Make believe I shot you. Make believe you dead. You know, we would do stuff like that.
Right. Oh man, if I got a box, just a box, that box would turn into a spaceship. It would turn into and then the lava on the floor. Y'all remember the lava on the floor? Yo, you gotta jump from one chair to the other, or you're gonna fall in the lava. You know what I mean?
Bunch of blankets and chairs, building the fort, being up under there.
Yep, exactly.
Right.
Playing Scully in the street. And I remember in Harlem seeing the kids would stack mattresses that were thrown away like 7 or 8 high, and then jump off heightened points, do flips and land and bounce on the mattresses.
On the nasty ass.
Yes.
Hell yeah, we did.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Didn't give a damn.
Look at this one.
Right.
Now you giving me ideas. I would put tiny crystals under my tongue and imagine I was a witch, because you was. Just imagine putting a crystal in your mouth while you're doing some sacred tantra. Imagine doing that.
Oh, that's what I'm talking
about. Be careful. Make sure it's round, so in case you swallow it, you ain't got to be carried away nowhere. It could just pass through you. Don't put no sharp crystals in your mouth. Put them little rounded out little Barney and Fred snowflake crystals in there. No telling.
One of the OGs told me about how.
Oh, we're gonna bring you up because this one sounds good.
He told me that the dudes who be putting the golds in the mouth, he was like, yo, I always wondered why the chicks was always on them dudes. I thought it was just like, oh, they got money or whatever. He said, until I started doing knowledge and learning and studying. And then I realized that gold in their mouth, they are, how did he say it? They are conducting electricity. So it's adding a type of vibration to the cunnilingus that they performing. So, you know what I'm saying? Having aluminum foil on your teeth or certain coins in your mouth by giving the cunnilingus, you know what I'm saying, activate certain principles. I was like, oh, snap, I got to get me a gold front.
Or how about some gold leaf that you put on your forehead before you do some tantra or do a meditation like that.
Right.
And Miss Bliss might put some on all her chakras. Who knows telling?
All of them.
Oh, she said all of them.
Yo, I have to add on with y'all too, because in the level of Qigong, saliva in the Qigong schools will tell you that is the most potent medicine of all medicines. I'm not even talking about herbal medicine or anything. What you just produce in your own being. There's a certain exercise we would do where we would use our tongue and you would do 9 times going in one direction over your teeth, 9 times go the other direction. Then you would accumulate the saliva in your mouth, and consciously you would swallow by 3, one little one, another little one, and then the other little one. And Dr. Wayne Chandler, big up to him, he's one of my great Qigong teachers as well. He would talk about how the tongue placement, it is like 3 major tongue placements on the roof of your mouth, and which also accumulates the saliva. This saliva is infused with the chi, or the life force energy. So again, when you're kissing your significant other and you're generating this type of life force within the saliva, you're actually creating, again, medicine. You know, people wouldn't understand that your saliva is deep medicine.
That's deep. Duli be dropping that shit, man.
So the saliva and the semen is medicine. Any other liquid might be medicine from the body? I'm just asking.
So yeah, there actually is
yoni juice,
antidepressant agents in semen. You know what I'm saying? So that gives a little bit of play back to when they is like, man, what's wrong with your girl, man? You need to give her some, because the antidepressive properties that come with semen. So you know what I mean? Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about urine therapy.
That semen facial. Okay.
Yep, the semen facial. That's the greatest mascara for women. You know what I mean? Again, you know, there's a book called the White Tigress. It's the White Tigress Society, where a lot of these women would do anti-aging techniques, and some of these women would be, again, and looking in their 60s, 70s, looking like they're 20, because they knew how to utilize the semen. You know, and the same thing for the brothers, using the yoni juice. You know, you're using the vagina juice and being able to, you know, drink that, put it over your face. And of course, we're talking about people that you know that are clean, that you have a relationship with, that are healthy individuals, you know. But urine therapy, like Hank said, that's another one too. You know what I mean? In Siberia, the shamans out there, they would have the whole community drink their pee, you know, because it was filled with the actual mushroom. So they would all get high off the shaman's pee. But but you know what I mean? But in general, you know, I heard that you could grow back your hair, putting pee on your head, makes your skin wonderful when you just, you know, use urine therapy as well. You know, Baba Kalindi, he was big into urine therapy, where he would drink his own urines and stuff.
Breast milk is also a beautiful medicine.
Ooh, wait a minute now. Hold on.
And tasty, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is sweet. Yeah, it is sweet.
Oh yeah. I'll take some titty milk any day.
But yeah, that's a great medicine.
Don't get me started, man. This is Titty Tuesday.
Oh no!
Don't let me pull up a video. Speaking of Titty Tuesday, I'm gonna put a Titty Tuesday right now. Here we go. I already uploaded it.
Oh no.
Yeah, this was a Titty Tuesday that was created by Miss Bliss. Thank you again, Miss Bliss. Y'all give her a hand. Everyone in the world, give Miss Bliss a hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, Miss Bliss. Yay.
Duli, I gotta come and visit you to get my new my new
Grape
medicine.
seed oil.
Yeah.
Yes.
My new
Yes,
grape seed
please.
oil.
I'll be
Yeah.
there in New York on Thursday. Yeah. It's my daughter's birthday tomorrow.
Yes. Yay.
So you give us a call. We'll roll up on you. Bliss, you going to have your spaceship?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But Bliss, Dooley's around the corner from you. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to make it happen.
Yes,
Make
sir.
it happen.
Yes,
All right. Let's get ready to wrap it up. I see Rain in the chat. Want to acknowledge all the medicine people.
Hey,
Thank you for
Rain.
being on the show. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for showing all the love to Sincere 7 and Duli from all over the world. I was posting they're from every part. I mean, places I didn't even think of. The last post, they're listening in from Sweden.
Surprise.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I just want to thank everyone for being on the show tonight. Any closing words, Sincere 7?
Yes, actually I do. We spoke about the healing properties of the grapes, but I just want to throw this out there. I always do every time I get a chance. Breast cancer, anybody who's went through it, who has it or has a threat of it, there is a mushroom called cordyceps mushroom. There's two types, cordyceps cyanesis and cordyceps militaris. The cyanesis, cordyceps S, you should be microdosing that every day. There's a chemical within it called cortisone that stops breast cancer from being able to metastasize and continue to grow. So if you have any threat of that, please microdose with cordyceps cyanesis as much as possible and pass it on to your loved ones, because the industry won't. And that's my closing. And tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.
And also practice the art of forgiveness and forgiving yourself. Thank you for that, Sincere. I got cordyceps powder, and I put it in my yo ho ho drink. What's hanging from my forehead is 24 karat gold, militia. Yeah, I just put some gold leaf on it right here. Ding, ding, ding. Any closing words, Brother Dooley?
Yeah, if you ever want to get at me and learn more about some Qigong and ways of approaching the sacred breath, get at me. I could make a video for you, or so you could start your journey of learning how to breathe properly. I've been doing it for years, and it's very helpful. Excuse me, Kismet, 1 second. It's very helpful because wait 1 second, Kismet. There's things that you could do in between your journeys, and that's dealing a lot with the integration work. So find some look into some breathing exercises for yourself, look into the mantras, look into the mudras. These are important things that you could do on a daily basis to be able to navigate through this reality better. Okay. So thank you for all the listeners. I appreciate y'all, and take care.
We got one more question was about fibroids. Sincere 7, any recommendations for because fibroids is epidemic amongst the sisters, as you well know.
Well, I have had some sisters that have had some testimonies using Kambo, as well as there's some studies that I have come upon that some of the aka grapes that we utilize addresses those. Duli might have more to add on.
Fibroids, Duli. Any
Definitely
comment?
the grapes. I had success with fibroids and cysts with the grapes on that. Definitely.
Okay, well, you see, you might have to listen, family. You might have to listen to this show more than once. This was off the chain, man. It was beautiful. Again, I thank you, Miss Bliss. Happy birthday season. I hope you're still celebrating. Hey,
Yes, I
Capricorn
am.
season.
Yes, I am.
That's it. And we're gonna close out on that. I want to thank you again. Say often, yes, I am. Supreme shield of protection surrounding me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am remembering all I was born to do. Yes, I am.